Morning.
Morning.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
That's a nice tune.
Is that our theme tune?
City. Dave the Beard's in complete darkness.
Yeah, I've just switched lights on as well. It's not.
It's
Hello,
because
blinds.
you've got the light behind you, Dave.
Like a Japanese kamikaze pilot.
Prince of Darkness.
Dave, drinking this tea or coffee. Dave, have you got some bird feeders at home?
Some bird feeders, yeah.
Yeah. I've the other day I had some siskins on mine. First time ever.
Oh, brilliant.
Siskin, never had them before. Have
Oh.
you? Do you get them?
No,
No.
So,
No,
what
never
sort
seen-
of trees have you got in your garden?
just growing trees, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
They grow like weeds, don't they? They reseed
Yeah.
very quickly. Yeah.
Siskins, no, that's brilliant.
Siskin used to be an aircraft that was forever pranging in the 1920s.
Well, siskins do spend a lot of time on the ground.
Well, this particular Siskin, they called it, the crash was invariably a Chinese three-pointer, which if you looked at it, half the aircraft was completely intact. The other half was smashed in smithereens because it tended to come in at 90 degrees and crash straight into the deck. Made of sealing wax and what's it? Very dangerous. It only did about 50 mile an hour, but there you go.
Morning.
Paul,
Morning.
Paul could pedal faster than that, couldn't he, Paul?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I can crash as well.
All right.
I tell you what, Paul, we got some right loonies round us cycling. You've got to, walking the dogs, you've got to be careful. You end up in
Well, if you will walk your dog down the middle of the road, what do you expect?
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Cyclists are an absolute menace. You can't walk on a street pavement without.
Well, in Oxford, there's a load of hills around this area anyway. Oxford is generally flat, but there is a hilly piece, and of course, it's great for cyclists. Well,
Yeah,
one way it is, the other way it's blooming difficult.
yeah, that's the plan.
How's your diet going, John?
Let me see. Lost 12 pounds now.
Oh,
Wow.
brilliant.
Yeah.
I'll lend you some more money, John.
Want to get some exercise, lol.
Right, just a couple more people joining at the moment. So we'll,
How's your dad-in-law, Keith?
they kept him in overnight, not for any specific reason. I think some more tests on him this morning, so he seemed all right. Every time eating, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah. Well, you are supposed to feed him,
There's two people still joining. They seem to be struggling. Let's have another go.
I've got a guy from a man called Jamie.
Right, it's joining. Colin Bland's trying to join, struggling.
Jenny's just had a negative test for COVID. She's just been for a test.
Oh, brilliant.
Jenny.
Good.
Yeah.
Hello.
Also a negative test for cake.
I was well.
Chris,
Hello.
hang on, Colin's trying again now.
Okay.
It's all right. I was just going to suggest here to give Colin a ring, but he's here. Look,
He's with us. He's here.
he's with us.
He's
Yay!
there.
Morning, Colin. Well, his sound's not on yet.
No, it's not quite right.
Who said it?
That's not fair.
People
And
say
Mike-
that of me all the time.
Well, they're right.
They're all right, I'll tell you.
And Mike's still struggling to get through.
A good turnout.
Yeah.
How about Notts winning their first county championship game for close on 3 years then?
I was going to do a report on that. I was promised I could do a report if Notts won. I've even got the mug from a past victory.
Wow.
Who did
This is
it?
an
Who did
this
it?
is an
Is that
antique.
Queen Victoria?
This is a very old mug. Well, no, they beat the might of Derbyshire. You know, the powerhouse of Northern cricket.
Does it still count though as a win? If it's only Derbyshire.
It does if you're a manager at Notts. It counts as a win, I'll tell you.
Is that even a first-class fixture?
Well, it's in a first-class league table.
I didn't realise you'd signed Hasim Hamid.
Why?
He's just had a purple patch. He's
Yes, he has. I mean,
To the
potentially
doctor.
that could be a fantastic signing.
I think it could.
Yeah.
They've made him vice captain as well.
Have they?
Yeah.
He's only 24 or 5, isn't he?
He's got to earn his money, hasn't he?
Well, they want to give up the vice and concentrate on the cricket.
Yeah. They've got one or two of those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, chaps.
We'll not go down that route.
Colin,
not.
gone.
I trust we're all. Oh, Mike's trying again. Here we go.
Don't worry, it's only 22.
Hey, well,
Nearly be off time.
right. Let's get cracking then. So, John, John, myself, and Tony went to see Eric yesterday. So, John.
Well, no, as Keith says so eloquently, me, Keith, and Tony went to see Eric yesterday. I would say, having seen him a couple of weeks ago, he's improved slightly. He was a bit more forthcoming and seemed to be slightly less depressed until we turned up, that is. Anyway, yeah, we had a good session with him, didn't we? Yeah, he's doing okay. Just needs to continue support. I'm currently in a bit of a situation with Ed's son and with the residential home about visiting him. I will be visiting this Sunday morning, but I'm trying to get him out the week after for a birthday lunch with our friend John, who was 90 last weekend. And the son's been a bit funny about it so far, but hopefully it'll be all right. They said he's deteriorated since he's been in there. But if you'd been locked up for 13 months and not been outside, I think we all might deteriorate somewhat.
Too right.
Yeah, so I think you'd benefit from getting out and about.
Yeah.
Well, we can see it in you, John. What? We can see it in you. With Sheffield Wednesday losing all the time, we've no.
You have to turn nasty, don't you?
Yes.
Turn nasty so early.
It's
So
still
what
in
do you-
their own hands. It's still in
Yeah,
their
well,
own.
yeah. It's not. It's in Rotherham's hands.
It's in
Anyway,
Rotherham's hands, yeah.
in
Well,
Rotherham's hands.
we can't.
So
we can't.
that's it, Keith. Stop doing your Billy Eckstein impressions. What's Keith doing?
You don't kind
Hello,
of,
black magic has me in its bag.
Some of these references are amazing.
Anyway, Keith doesn't appear to be ready, so shall we move on with the meeting? Lol, would you like
Yeah,
to
that's
give us some
good.
news?
Yeah. Despite Keith, yeah.
Despite Keith,
Yeah, mute Keith. Mute Keith.
It's
Go
not
on.
much of a Zoom if we're all watching Keith on
Well,
phone, is it? So.
Try again and then.
Come on, Lol, on you go.
Okay then.
Try
Shall we
later
talk a little bit on tennis to begin? A little bit on tennis.
yeah,
Now, Wimbledon
that's
will
enough.
abandon its
Okay.
traditional rest day on the middle Sunday of the tournament for next year. The Grand Slam will instead be played over 14 consecutive days, with All England Lawn Tennis Club chairman Ian Hewitt saying this was possible because of better grass court maintenance. Organisers also revealed they are hoping to have fans at a minimum of 25% capacity this year, and ticket prices will remain the same as last year, with prize money yet to be decided. Now, a few things about Formula One. Now, shorter sprint races will be introduced to Formula One this year to set the grid positions at 3 Grand Prix. Series bosses have agreed. Points will be awarded to the top 3 finishers. 3 points for first, 2 for second, and 1 for third. Grid positions for a starter race are to be called sprint qualifying, and it will be set by moving qualifying to Friday. Avoiding calling the event a race is to ensure that the Grand Prix remains the main focus of the weekend. Now, Formula One has announced the Japanese Grand Prix will remain at Suzuka until the end of the 2024 season. The figure of 8 track first staged a Formula One race in 1987, and it has decided the Drivers' Championship on 11 occasions. The reason for the 3-year extension is to show a big long-term commitment to growing the sport in Asia. This year's race is due to be held in 10th of October after the 2020 Grand Prix was cancelled because of COVID. A little bit more on Formula One, and that's last weekend. Sorry, the Canadian Grand Prix has been cancelled and will be replaced on its 11th to the 13th of June date by a race at Turkey's Istanbul Park track. It is the second successive year that the Montreal event has been cancelled because of the coronavirus pandemic. Travel restrictions made it impossible to enter Canada without a mandatory 14-day quarantine, said a Formula One statement. Meanwhile, the contract for a race in Montreal Circuit Gilles Villeneuve has been extended by 2 years to 2031. Now, going back to last weekend's Grand Prix, Valtteri Bottas beat Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton to pole position by 0.007 seconds in the qualifying session at the Portuguese Grand Prix. But Red Bull's Max Verstappen had a faster lap ruled out for exceeding track limits and started third on the grid. In the race itself, Hamilton fought back to pass both Bottas and Verstappen for a brilliant victory. The 7-time champion fell to third as Verstappen overtook him at a restart after an early safety car. But he passed Verstappen 4 laps later, then chased and overtook his teammate Bottas before moving on to control the race. The win gave Hamilton an 8-point lead over Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship. I don't know how they can cut to 0.100 of a second, 7 of a second, do you?
No.
7,000. I saw that.
7,000 of a second.
Saw that, lol. The Grand Prix as well. I thought Hamilton was in his own element. He just flew past the other 2 drivers. But going back to your point about this qualifying, these 3 pseudo races, is that the only qualification criterion for those 3 Grand Prix, or are they going to do the tyres and all the rest of it that they do now?
Well, I don't know yet, Ian. That's what I've just caught up on. That it didn't mention anything else. Just get points.
Quite a dramatic move, because in qualifying at the moment they have 3 qualifying sessions, and they have to be careful which tyres they use. They're mandated to use certain tyres, but they've also got to be careful which tyres they use, so they start with the right one and have tyre management through the Grand Prix. That seems to be written out completely for these sprint qualifications. I'm not sure it's a positive move. I just wonder what the rest of the guys thought.
It's only for 3 races of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Only 3.
And the qualifying amount of time on the track has been reduced from 90 minutes to 60 minutes, apparently. I don't know if that has much bearing on it.
So that's the bit I'm confused, Paul. So how long does the sprint session take? In the 3 Grand Prix that you're just sprinting, right, to qualify, unless I've misunderstood it, is that all you've got to do? How long does that take? And why are we taking a major variable in the whole management of Grand Prix racing, which is your tyre usage and your setup and the rest of it.
You'll not be surprised to hear it's to do with money.
Oh,
No.
Whoa.
Nay, lads, nay.
I knew you wouldn't be. It's because attendances at qualifying sessions aren't fantastic, but they're saying that if there's going to be a race on, more people will come on the Saturday.
Right.
Aren't they all in it on a Friday?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's, well, whatever day it is, they say more people will come, but I think I still think it is a Saturday.
No, it's the sprint racing's on a Friday.
Yeah, the
Oh,
normal qualifying is on a Friday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, sorry.
I think
Yeah, qualifying
you're
is
doing
Friday, grid positions on the Saturday. Yeah,
normal qualifying on Friday.
that's right.
No.
Am I the only one who doesn't give us stuff? Quite agree, yes, Peter.
Shall we carry on?
Yeah.
We'll carry on.
Oh, right. Thank you, Peter. You can fog up anytime you like, mate.
We'll go on to athletics. Now, a 12-year-old Belfast girl says she just tries to run as fast as I can after producing a 5-kilometre road race time of 16 minutes 40 seconds, which is a world record for her age. Emma McKee set the remarkable time while running in an event at Down Royal Racecourse a couple of weekends ago. The running prodigy is a member of the Willowfield Club in East Belfast. So watch this space. That might be a girl for the future.
A running prodigy.
Better make sure that we don't get the union broken up then by Boris.
A little bit more on athletics. Now, Great Britain's 4x400 metres women's team won a bronze at the 2021 World Athletics Relays event in Poland. Setting a time of 3 minutes 29.27 seconds, the British runners finished behind winners Cuba and second place Poland. Now, going back to the old running shoes again, athletes using new running shoe technology are cheating, and it is almost like doping, says ex-marathon world record holder Tegla Larupe. The growth of high-tech shoes has coincided with a number of world records being set in endurance races in recent years. Critics argue that such shoes give the wearer an unfair advantage, and Kenya's Larupe believes they should be banned altogether.
Just on athletics, Lol.
Yep.
But if you're covering it, I saw a story about a woman who's done this endurance race up in Scotland. I think it was in Scotland, and she broke the record by 17 hours.
No, I've not covered that one, Keith.
Right. It was it was obviously over terrain and that, but it says she broke the record by an amazing 17 hours.
Get a lift.
There's some running shoes she's got on.
Wings.
Yeah,
Did it by
she only
Land
got
Rover,
20,
did she?
yeah.
Did she use a Land Rover?
Yeah.
No, the watch stopped.
Yeah.
Right. We're going
Was
to
her
horse
name,
racing.
was her name Peggy Suss?
Peggy
Peggy.
Sus, yeah. Peggy Sus.
Yeah, we got it.
Peggy Sus.
It wasn't worth it.
No,
No.
it wasn't really, was it? No.
Keep them to yourself, Ian.
Let's go back to Grand Prix.
That's not.
No.
Let's go on to a four-legged race now, horse racing.
Yes.
Oh.
Now, legendary racehorse Frankel
Yep.
and record-breaking jockey Lester Piggott have been announced as the first two inductees in a new.
Is he
racing
me or
Hall
has
of
everybody
Fame.
frozen?
Frankel
You.
won all 14 of his races, including a blistering 2,000 guineas win 10 years ago, and is now a sire who commands a stud fee of £175,000 a time. Bibble and Keith's £2.50. Now, Piggott was champion 11 times and won the Derby at Epsom on 9 occasions. Frankel brought electricity and excitement to racing, said Lady Jane Cecil, white widow of trainer Sir Henry.
I love the story about Piggott when they asked him about what did you think of Arkle? Piggott said, nice horse, nice horse.
I thought he just said. Anyway, how much is your stud fee, lol?
Well, those days have gone, Keith. It was more than £2.50 though, I know that. A little bit more on horse racing. Frankie Dettori won the 1,000 guineas for the 4th time with a convincing victory on Mother Earth at Newmarket. It is a 3rd straight 1,000 guineas win for trainer Aidan O'Brien, who previously had success with Hermosa and Love, and he becomes the first trainer to achieve this feat since 1918. It was also O'Brien's 5th 1,000 guineas victory in the past 6 years. A bit on boxing. Now, Sonny Edwards produced a sublime display at York Hall to inflict a first defeat on Maruti Mutilane in 13 years to become the new IBF World Flyweight Champion. The British fighter served up 36 minutes of energy and movement to avoid a heavy-handed South African, and his classy display earned a unanimous win on points. Edwards follows his brother Charlie in becoming a world champion, making them only the 2nd pair of brothers from the UK to win world titles.
Reminds me, you at work that, Keith, 36 minutes of energy and movement. Like, we're at a 7.5 hour day. So.
Yeah.
That was a lunch break, was it?
Yeah.
Joseph Parker, he recovered from being knocked down in the opening 10 seconds to beat Derek Chisora on a split decision and keep his hopes alive of a shot at the world heavyweight bout. The Britain floored New Zealander Parker at Manchester Arena with an overhand right to the temple, but the former world champion turned the tide and landed combinations as the bout wore on, during which Chisora got very tired, and it proved enough for Parker to earn the split decision. A bit on snooker. Now, Mark Selby, he met Sean Murphy in the World Championship final after he came from behind to see a 17-15 victory over Stuart Bingham in the semi-final. In the other semi-final, Murphy, who at one point trailed 10-4, completed a remarkable turnaround to beat Kyron Wilson 17-12. The final was won 18 frames to 15 by Selby for his 4th world title and a prize pot of £500,000. For Murphy, who got £200,000 as runner-up, it was a 3rd final he has lost since becoming world champion in 2005. He also won £15,000 for the highest break of the tournament, a 144, which he got against Yang Bingtao in the 2nd round. But it was some remarkable snooker play last night. Did anybody watch it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good.
Just one.
They both got same manager.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just one aspect of that Jonathan might be interested in. Did anybody see the guy who was in the striped jacket?
Yeah.
Shirt?
He's there every year, Keith. He's there every year.
Yeah, he's a
He's a
regular.
Coventry City fan.
Oh, yes, I've heard about him. Yes, I didn't watch it last night, but yes, I've
He's
heard.
the other one.
He always used to wear a Coventry City shirt.
Yes,
But
he did.
about 4 years ago, they banned shirts
Yeah.
inside the thing.
Yeah, he has the same
He wears
suit every
something
year.
that's obviously the colours of Coventry City.
Absolutely.
Still making his statement, didn't he? Yeah.
Not only Coventry, Keith, but he goes to England away games. I've seen him in photographs and footage at England away games. He's a massive sports fan.
Yeah. Do you know what? I actually spoke to that guy yesterday because I was going to the gym. I go to the Mercure gym, which is the hotel opposite the Crucible there, and it was sat outside with three mates outside the Brown Bear, having a cup of coffee. It was absolutely peeing it down. They were just sat there getting soaked. And I walked past with my brolly, and he just said, "Excuse me," he said, "Want to sell a brolly? Want to sell a brolly?" and I turned around and I recognised him from having seen him on telly. And I just said, "Not on your life, mate, but good luck anyway." But there were four of them just sat in the street outside there they were absolutely drenched. And I thought, how dumb can you get?
Yeah,
but there you go. There you go.
Filling up.
I liked Sean Murphy's speech last night when he was interviewed at the end.
Brilliant.
And then Mark Selby said, "Why'd you put me on after him?" I can't follow that. Yeah.
But it was a good speech, wasn't it?
It was.
It was across well.
Just when Sean Murphy actually won the world title in 2005, I worked as part of John's team at the Department for Work and Pensions.
You were meant to be working with?
Yeah, and one of the lads who worked with us was quite good at snooker. Anyway, he came in one morning. I said, and I knew he'd been playing that night. "How did you get on?" He says, "Oh, I just managed to win." So I said, "Oh, who did you play?" Because I knew quite a few of the snooker players, having played in the league myself. And he said, "I played Sean Murphy." I went, and he'd actually beaten Sean Murphy in a league match.
Was that Chris, Keith?
You what, sorry?
Was that Chris who was?
Dave Spawn.
Oh, Dave, yeah.
So, as it happened that weekend, we were shopping in Sainsbury's, and who should be wandering around Sainsbury's but Sean Murphy and his missus. So I sidled up to him, as you do. I said, "Excuse me, Sean," and he looked at me. So I went, "Yeah," obviously waiting for autograph requests. I said, I think I work with someone that you might know." He says, "Oh, who's that?" I went, "Dave Spawn." He says, "Don't talk to me about bloody Dave Spawn." Right, cowboy, that lad. Says, they put me off 45 against him, and I had no chance. He says, "You must be playing off that." So anyway, that's my story about Sean Murphy.
2005, the year he won it, me and my brother used to play the table diagonal to where he used to play at 147 Club at Ecclesfield.
All right. Yeah.
We used to play diagonal tables and he used to have Nigel Bond up a lot to,
Right.
Him and Nigel Bond were there quite often.
Yeah.
There was always
the complete contrast. I found Sean Murphy's little lad quite entertaining at the interval.
Yeah.
He faces himself in the camera.
Wasn't that brilliant? Wasn't it brilliant?
Typical, isn't it? Magic.
Yeah. Right, Lol, I'm sorry to have interrupted you.
No bother. A little bit on cricket now.
What all day?
Chris might put a bit more meat on these bones that I'm going to talk about with Nottinghamshire.
A lot of bones.
Because it's already been mentioned by Peter. Now, Nottinghamshire emphatically beat Derbyshire to record their first county championship win since June 2018.
Incredible.
In setting Derbyshire an unlikely 470 runs to win, Nottinghamshire bowled them out for just 159, with England bowler Stuart Broad taking 4 for 37, which included 2 wickets in 2 balls at the top of the order to start the collapse. Now, going on to Yorkshire, Unbeaten Yorkshire kept up the pressure on Group 3 leaders Lancashire with a dramatic 1-run win over Northants. Northants, resuming on 94 for 4 on the final day, chasing 220 for victory, and kept the game in the balance at lunch with a score at 174 for 7. The 9th wicket partnership took Northamptonshire to within 14 of victory, but the last wicket could only manage 12, too short of their target, to give Yorkshire a stunning win. Now, Rugby Union.
Hang on. Well, let Chris join in.
Can I first of all congratulate my other team, Yorkshire? That was an amazing match. If anyone was following it, it is only the second time in the history of Yorkshire County Cricket Club, which is a long history, that they've won by 1 run.
Yeah.
And that is why the county game is still the best format, because that pressure, that tension, that intensity only builds over a number of sessions. And that was stunning, absolutely stunning.
It all afternoon there.
Yeah.
Or in Nottingham's case, over 3 years. Yeah.
Over 3 years. Notts, that was their first win in a 4-day game for 31 attempts. I think it includes at least 2 relegations. And it was, built upon batting. If you don't score runs in any game at the top order, you struggle. And that's been Notts' massive problem.
Absolutely.
And with Slater and Hamid and Duckett.
No, Chris,
Hello?
It was Duckett's first run of the
runs
season.
at the top order.
Yeah, but they've got to get them at the top of the order. You've got no chance. And thank goodness they got it together and managed to put a huge score on the board. They were playing Derby, so I'm not getting carried away.
No.
They were playing potentially the second worst team in England, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah, so are we on Saturday? Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just add one thing which may be of interest from a cricket point of view and a COVID protocol point of view? The first thing I've booked to go out, I haven't been anywhere, is I booked it online to go to Trent Bridge on May the 20th, which is the first day of a county game against Worcester. Now, there are massive protocols to follow that Trent Bridge have to instigate. I'm going to go. I'm going to give it, just going to go and see how things are operated. I'll report back to the group, if you like, after that match, and say how was it organised? Was it comfortable to go and watch a match under these restrictions at the moment? If anyone's interested, I'll give you 2 minutes update on what I found. But I'm really looking forward to it. It would appear to be organised very well. It will be very strange, not like going to a match normally. Very, very strange. But so be it if they can get a game on and play it safely.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of space there, isn't there, for social distancing?
Yeah, the way they're looking. Yeah, you book your tickets and then they block out round you, and you must not leave that seat.
That particular zone, either.
Which for me will be very difficult because I wander. I watch from 10 different vantage points.
What date is it, Chris?
It's May the 20th, Ian. May the 20th.
It will all right by then.
Pardon?
You'll be restrictions will be loosened by then, won't they?
No, these are massive restrictions on outdoor sport and watching in a stadium.
June the 21st when they all get lifted.
Yeah, no, this is massive. This is a massive exercise.
Sorry, I thought that I'd got wind. I must have misheard that they were.
No, I think it's
Rennie's, Ian. Rennie's.
17th of May, we can go inside a pub or a restaurant.
I won't be doing that.
We've got a couple of validation events at Lord's, Eton Harrow and Oxford versus Cambridge. Right. And that's coming up at the end of May, and with distancing and being in particular parts of the ground and all the rest. And if that all goes well, then of course we go ahead with England, New Zealand next month, which will still just be within the June the 21st threshold. and there'll be just 8,000 people at the game each day, quarter of the attendance.
Yeah.
But I'll let you know how that goes on the later this month. Those 2 validation events. Yeah.
Now Notts have won a match. I think I'll have to beat people off with a stick. They'll be queuing around the ground to get in. It'll be a real hard job. But I am prepared to put myself out.
That'll be the day.
Chris, go
Yes.
early, mate. You might get a game.
Yeah, I don't think that's likely. They're all very good players. It's whether they play well as a team that's the critical thing.
Right, Lowell, you got much more?
Yeah, well, a little bit on rugby union.
Yeah.
The women's Six Nations champions, England's test in France was called off in the 63rd minute after the floodlights failed, giving the Red Roses victory. Concerns over player welfare because of the amount of time it would take for the lights to come back on led to the decision to stop the game. Because more than 60 minutes had been played, England were awarded the win as they were leading 17-15 when the lights went out. Now, just a couple of minutes on football, but nothing about the local teams. Have we got much time, Keith?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Now, teams will be allowed to select a 26-player squad instead of the usual 23 at this summer's European Championship. The change has been implemented to lessen the load on players after a club season compressed because of the coronavirus pandemic. It will also help managers adapt if outbreaks occur during the tournament. The decision taken by UEFA's National Teams Committee last Monday will be subject to ratification, but is not expected to meet any opposition. The Doncaster Rovers legend, James Coppinger, is to be honoured with the Sir Tom Finney Award at the 2021 EFL Awards. The 40-year-old midfielder is retiring at the end of the season after 17 years with the League One side. The EFL said the award recognises his talent, his commitment and model professionalism throughout his career. Coppinger, who made his debut for Hartlepool at Barnet in March 2000, said his time at Doncaster had meant everything to him. Now, Harrogate Town, League Two side, beat Concord Rangers from the National League South to win the 2020 FA Trophy final at Wembley. Harrogate's superior fitness showed late on, and they scored the only goal of the match as Concord tired in the second half, with Josh Falkingham tapping in the winner after Jack Muldoon's shot hit the post and rebounded to him.
Yeah.
In doing so, they made history by becoming the first Football League team to win non-league showpiece final.
Yeah, well, finish after the break with less than a minute.
There's only 2 actual items then.
I'll see you.
Okay.
See you all shortly.